So here's the thing, it's about you as an author being a brand as well as your book. So it's very important that you have, we talk about your platform, that it's about you, the author, as well as your book. And that you and your book...
Unfortunately, I'm going to need you to...
Oh, want me to move over here?
Here, let me get out of the way.
Okay, so
Can I
you really want to start looking at you and your book both as a product, okay? And the first thing is, especially with books, you've got to have a great product just like anybody else has to have a great product. You have to have something that is well made, and as far as that's about editing. Okay, so I would really highly encourage you. The very first thing to do is to have your book very well edited. I had a client come in, they have a new book, they went ahead and made the book, printed them up. It was a children's book, and then they got a article in the local newspaper, and they actually had a very large company called Ingersoll Rand contact them for a sponsorship. But the book was not edited, so there was mistakes in the book. So they kind of jumped the gun and they didn't roll it out correctly. So we took over, my partner Nancy Shobe, and what we did is we went through and Matt edited the book, I edited it, and Nancy, and we all three went through that. Now the book's in a reprint. We've gone through and then we're going to contact, we've done an official press release, and then we're going to be looking at Ingersoll Rand as a sponsorship for this book. But that's one thing you can do, is you can get it out there and you get the press for it, and if it's not ready and the product isn't at you know, at its top of the game, then it's just, you're going to put out a poor product, and we didn't want them to see that, so we kind of pulled it back. So just letting you know that you know, when you go to put something out, make sure it's a top, as best as you can get it, that it's edited, that there's a market need for it. You know, really look at it as a product. Some of the things you think of when you are looking to put something out into the market is whether, are you the best, are you the first, or are you unique? So I would think about those three things, and if also you're not the best or you're not the first in a genre, go ahead and coin your own genre. You know, just come up with something, you know, if it's science fiction, romance, or something, you know, get it even more specific, and just go ahead and just coin your own and make your own and run with that. You're just like when you have your own product or your own line of products, you've got to stand out from everyone else. So if you've got to coin a genre, don't try to just join something else. Just be as unique as you can. And here's the thing about author being a brand. Who are you? They need to know who you are. Why are you the one chosen to write this book? And what is your background, your bio, your summary, who you are, and what you bring to the book, your voice, your perspective on it, is as important as the actual book itself. So that gives the truth behind it and the truth in your message. And you've got to make sure that if you say your book is about something and you have a specific message that you're putting out there, it's like saying that you know, a product has its own message that delivers this. You've got to deliver that. You've got to actually stand up and make sure that whatever you say your book is going to deliver, whatever the benefit is to a reader, if it's going to make them laugh, if it's going to make them cry, if it's going to teach them how to garden, if it's going to do something, just make sure you absolutely deliver on that. Your message is critical, and delivering on that message is critical to building loyalty. This is the same thing as the message being clear and consistent across everything. Now, you want to maybe think of having a takeaway quote or something about your message. Really be clear when you think about, what does your book say? What's your theme? What's your premise? And if it's love conquers all, fine. Just, you know, go with that. But also, if there's some kind of a quote, if there's a tagline or something that you help you when you're promoting. This is not, you don't have to put this on your novel or on the cover or anything, but when you're promoting stuff, you're treating kind of like you're treating like a movie. You know, movie trailers have these great taglines. They have a little bit of time. They have a visual poster. They have like one-sentence summaries is what when you pitch to an agent. You know, you want to have it encapsulated like in your elevator pitch. Especially if you're self-publishing or online, it's a visual medium. Treat it like a movie. You've got your book trailers out there now. You know, like Alien. No, in space, no one can hear you scream. People remember that. They attach to that. You know, and it encapsulates the theme, the problem of the story, the character, whatever is the key thing. Try to come up with something that really captures it in one tagline, and also in your elevator pitch summary. And so I would start really looking at it like a movie, and look at what the movie people do and how they hit those taglines, the summaries. I know in Bridget Jones' Diary, I think it was uncensored, uninhibited, unmarried. you know, boom, boom, boom. Just 3 words sometimes, very clear, okay, what we're talking about there. And benefit to the reader, always important in promotion. This is who you're going out to, whether it's the press, whether it's your actual reader, you know, because if you're sending out a press release, you're going to a journalist. The journalist is saying, well, what do my readers think? They want to pull up press that is a benefit to their readers, and that's how they're going to pick your press release over somebody else's. But it's the end reader who you have to find a benefit for. So that's how you turn things around when you are marketing your slogan, your tagline. You know, is there a benefit there? Is there something that's intriguing that's going to be taken away, where people are going to go, oh, I need to know more about that, or that's me. You know, connecting with the reader. You know, that Bridget Jones line. A lot of women are in those 3 things. So, and visuals and copy. Okay, what you want to do, let's say you've got your book. I've got Matt's here. He's got the Infinity Zone, okay? He's got a transcendent approach to peak performance. He's got a tagline here that talks about what the Infinity Zone is about. The title is great, it's intriguing. It's about infinity. The theme behind this is about the infinity symbol and what it means in energy and things like that in peak performance, and how to use the symbol, and especially a device they have that's called the 8 board, which is the infinity board. But also the background, what is it? It's Pleiades. What's more infinite than the universe, okay? Then you've got, Lisa Engel did the website. Okay, this is his online press kit. So
Lisa did that?
Lisa did this, so I'll just show you just a cover page. But it's got the same colors, so you've got the colors, okay? Everything's the same. You know, you want to have that so you keep driving the imagery and the words, the same tagline, the same definition. So he's got the definition here of what the Infinity Zone is. 1 sentence, there's his elevator pitch. He just won an award, International Book Award, okay, that just came out this 2 weeks ago. And then he's got the book, he's got the summary, he's got quotes over here by famous authors, and you know, the blurbs. And then right under here he's got the press room and everything else, and it only goes down 1 level. It's not like they have to make them search forever. And then you've got, you know, your business cards have the same exact colors, schemes, all the quotes are the same. You have that synergistic look and feel of your entire brand, okay? Everything's there, Facebook, Twitter, so as soon as you get there, you get everything right up front. You don't have to dig around in some of the old websites. You'd be searching and searching and searching forever. It's really about kind of that home page, have as much stuff right up front. People just aren't clicking through. They're doing analytics on it, and they're just not clicking through. They're staying on that home page, maybe going in a page. So, you know, if you want to go to the press room, it's fine, but you come right back out. You don't have to dig forever.
So the home page should be your press kit.
Yeah, that's an online press kit. So instead of putting those together and sending them out, mailing them out, you send them to this website, and everything's there. And that's kind of the way everything is going nowadays, is they just say, oh, and it's not about a big website all about you or whatever. You'd have one for your book, and then connect with your social media through there that comes back to that site. But anyway, it's just about having everything in one spot. You don't want to make them search for anything. You don't want to make your readers, the press, agents, or anything do any work. You want to make it so easy. And that's why, because sometimes it takes about 7 to 10 times to hear about something. You might go and you see it online. You might see something on Facebook. You might see a press release. Go ahead.
Instead of having your social media come through there, can you explain that?
Oh, what you had on that website, you have the icons for Facebook and Twitter. Those were those circles up on the right-hand side. So you have those placed on there. So all you do is go, bing, hit Facebook, you're right on his Facebook page. You hit Twitter, you're right on his Twitter account. And I want to tell you something interesting about Twitter. Okay, we talk about his message. Okay, Matt's message for all of his books, his basis, his theme of his books, even though he's written horror, historical fiction, memoir, and novels, and nonfiction, there is a theme of shamanism over everything, okay, and transformation, kind of spiritual, supernatural about it all, okay. So, so what you want to do, you go on Twitter, and what's his theme? Say, let's pick shamanism. You go into Twitter. We did this a couple weeks ago. We went hashtag, which means conversation, shamanism. So we are looking to see who is talking about shamanism. We go in there, he followed everybody. They followed him right back, okay? And he went in and said he's passionate about shamanism. I wrote a book on it, da-da-da. You don't really have to, he didn't go in there and try to comment for 3 weeks or whatever. If you're honest about it, you're truthful about it, and you come in and you say, you know, and you've got, sure, here's my book. He didn't do a hard sell, did a very soft sell as far as here's a link to my book if you're interested and passionate about it, glad to find you guys, and that kind of thing. I think he had some people ask him to ghostwrite a book within the 2 days, you know, and he had about 100 and so people start following him. And then some of those have 5,000 to 6,000 followers, and some of them retweeted his book and things like that. So he got book sales out of it, and that's just going into looking what people, finding that message. What is your theme? What is your message? Finding out who's talking about it, and where you can, you know, where are those people living? Where are they talking? Where are they out there online, or even live? You know, they have the site meetup.com, where people, you can go online, you go to meetup.com, and there's people in your area meeting up on things that are in your book. You know, if you're about surfing, you have people that meet to go surf or something like that. You know, you can talk to them. You have those kind of things. So there's physical. If you don't, you know, we totally encourage the online social media, of course. But there's also people, networking groups like Meetup.com that you can actually do face to face. So that's the whole thing is about getting out there in a lot of different places, because all of a sudden they'll say, I saw a press release. I saw you on Facebook, or it said you got this award, and I saw this and that. And when Matt came to the this conference, I watched people, when he walked in, they said, you've been getting a lot of publicity lately. You've been getting, I'm like, oh, that's good. So it's that, you know, and not everyone's at Facebook, not everyone's here, but we're putting it out here and there and here and there, and the book awards, things like that. So we're trying to kind of hit from all different angles, and have his message, but his message and the look of everything is the same, and people just keep seeing it over and over, and then they go, yeah, I want to check that out. So here's the thing too, is knowing your audience, like we talked about. Totally zero in and err on the specific. You know, don't try to hit too wide. Start really tight, really as far as the most targeted you can, and then you can move out. But I would really, it just makes it easier on yourself. It really makes it easier. You go on Facebook, you can look up groups of people. You'll be amazed. His book is on sacred geometry. I think we found 20 Facebook groups on sacred geometry. We didn't even, like, let's check that out. There they were. There's groups there. They're all over the world. They're meeting. They loved his stuff, and he got book sales out of it. So just think about, look through your book. What are your themes? What are you talking about? You know, if it's a novel, that's fine. It can also be the locale that you're from. It can be the subject matter. If it's about horses, if it's about surfing, if it's about love, oh my gosh, how many relationship sites are probably on there on Facebook about love and relationships and things like that. So no matter how broad it is, but also when I talked about coining your own genre, get really specific. How am I talking about love that's different than everybody else? How am I talking about horses that's different than everybody else? And go in and look at those really specific entities that make up your message and your theme, and go into Twitter and see who's talking. Maybe people are talking about that exact thing. Facebook, maybe there's groups on that exact thing. And you're going to find your tribe, you know, really a really solid, good tribe. And that's what we want. We want you to get discovered by them, okay? This whole thing about being an author and as a brand, it's about you. Your book's great and everything, that's part of you, but it's really about you as an author getting discovered by your tribe, okay? So you want to join your audience. You don't just want to pop in there. You want to see what they're up to. And I swear the funniest thing about Twitter, you follow them, most of them follow you right back. Like they just go bang, 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 and they retweet things like that. So it's not about, I had a thing where I was following a lot of comedians because I just thought, oh my God, I just want to see what everybody's saying. But a lot of celebrities don't follow you back. So I would really encourage you going into and following regular people who are on Twitter talking about what you're interested in, and see how many people you can build from there. Okay, so look at your brand's keywords. This is the thing we already talked about a little bit. But instead of in-person, we've already talked about in-person meetups, but expos. Maybe you've got fairs. Maybe you've got nonprofits that deal with what you're talking about, and especially companies, okay? So let's go back to this. I'll talk about two things. We'll talk about this book that I've got. It's about a environmentally, it's a children's book. It's called Eco Green Dog. Okay, it's about a dog who's environmentally friendly, and this little girl wrote it, and her dog fell in a pond of toxic waste. Dog was sick, So she wants to help kids understand about environment through this dog. So she's got some options there. She's got environmental companies, and she's got dog companies, she's got nonprofits. So the company, Ingersoll Rand, who we're in talks with, but they are all about green air, water, energy, everything. So they're all about environment. That's why they called her when they saw that small little article in North Carolina. They called her out, this massive corporation. And they wanted her to bring, guess what, the mascot to their Earth Day. And I'm like, we don't have a mascot. We don't have much, she didn't have a book. The book's full of mistakes. So it's okay. So we had everyone just calm down, we can't do this, but thank you, and we may move next year. So we edit the book, and what I'm going to do is we're going to come up with a sponsorship proposal to that company. Something simple, maybe 10-page PowerPoint. And if you want to see an example of one that I did, you can go to Santa Barbara International Film Festival.org. It's SBIFF.org. Look at their sponsorship brochure, okay? And on that, it's about 10 pages. It's a PowerPoint, but it's PDF, and that's a big deal. It's a big event and everything, and they get $75,000 and $150,000 and everything up to 10 grand. But you don't have to make it that glamorous or anything. But you can see how they talk about the event. They talk about the different levels. And so what we wouldn't do, we wouldn't go to Ingersoll Rand and say, we want $100,000. We wouldn't do that. We would say little increments. Okay, let's say mascot's $3,000. We would ask specifically for a mascot for $3,000. We would say for that, and then maybe $5,000 would be a website and a mascot or something like that. But you're very specific when you ask for things from nonprofits or from companies, because the thing is, this is a big, huge company. It's got a massive reach. It's got tons of customers, tons of employees. But what it doesn't have is its message, and it doesn't have something fun like the dog. So you guys have the books, you have the content. These companies have the reach and the money. So they could send, people on talking tours and things like that to their other companies, and then they represent, like if we did this thing with this dog, we would have the dog, the mascot made, we would have them wear a shirt with their company brand on it. And things like that, and talk about the company and the great things they're doing for the world. But people respond to that because it's more fun to listen to some mascot, and you bring your families along, it's family friendly and everything. So it's just that if you have something that's more interesting and fun for these companies to get their message out. Nonprofits, a lot of times, will sponsor dog books. The Humane Society might put a sticker on, if you have a book about a dog, and or a horse or something, they'll put a sticker on it, say sponsored by Humane Society, and they may purchase those books and then give them out as an incentive on Neuter Day. Come in and get your animal neutered and we'll give you this free book. If your book is about families or something to do, even if it's a dog book or something, you might even find your local, I know one woman who had a mechanic buy her books and give them out for, as an incentive on a certain day, because his business wanted to attract more families. So here's the thing. So we did the online, we did Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn groups, conversations, follow everybody, post, retweet. Okay, so we know that. Also grabbing audience emotions. If you're dealing with nonprofits especially, and even with your book, if you can really hit an emotional chord and connect with your audience, your readers, and also with companies, because companies are very, very big on cause marketing, which is aligning with nonprofits and showing they have a heart as well as great products. So if your product has some kind of feel good, like a Tom Shoes kind of thing, and you're doing some donation work or something off of your book sales or something like that, they like to be part of that as well. So they like to get behind those feel good kind of things. Let's go to the next one. Good. Okay, here's the sponsorship. We told you to go through your story, look for connections, look for any subjects that are in your books, and see if you can look. So I would start locally. This one particular company, this one girl, she was in North Carolina. The company's right down the street. They say, oh, local girl, she's got this cool thing. They weren't out there looking around the world. They just picked up their local paper and they saw that, and they took the easiest route and said, why don't you come on over? They weren't out looking for a mascot in this girl's story. It just wasn't resonance, because she was in their backyard, it was a good fit, and that's why we're going forward with that. But look in your local area and start there because they're more likely to support you first, okay? And we talked about you have the content message and they have the reach to your audience. Talked about having a benefit. They don't want to write a book. We've talked about purchasing it, sponsoring it, offering it to their employees as an incentive, or emailing an offer to their employees where you get that exposure and you're probably going to get some good book sales out of it. Let's go on more. Getting press releases. Okay, these are the 5 things right here that you want to put in a press release. I'm going to give you a handout that lists the top 10 best free press release sites on Google, okay? So if I don't have enough of those, I can also email that to you with the promotion, or we can make copies. So the thing is, press releases, I have a license for a press release through PR Web. It's cost some money, but we have a very large reach. It reaches 30,000 media. You don't always need that, okay? If you want to pay to have that kind of a reach, it's going to cost a little bit of money, and probably around $300 to $400 per press release. And the press releases I do have videos and so forth. But if you want to get a press release out, especially to your local area, you can go online, you can Google templates for press releases. They tell you how to write them. They tell you what's important to say. Usually 300 to 500 words for it to get in a newspaper. Now that most of them are online, they can go up to 600 to 800 words, okay? Because you just hit number 2 down at the bottom and it'll go to the next page. The headline should this headline is very important because sometimes the press releases online will pass only on the headline. It's called headline impression. And they'll only see that, and then they'll put more underneath that. So if you want people to click on that and you'll get analytics back, you want to have your headline important. So here's a couple things. I also have a list here. I think it's maybe close to 100 things that the journalists look for in your media, so I'm going to pass that out. You guys can have that. Some of the key ones, tying with current events. Make sure, again, the message is a benefit. Local, regional, so if it says, they'll always ask you where the press release is from. You put in your town there, or the town you want it to be from. And if you want it to come up in a San Diego paper, maybe you'll put it from San Diego, California. You know, those kind of things. Or you put that in your bio or something. Put that word in there because they search by keyword search. And Matt is from Dorchester, Massachusetts, and just by putting it in there, he gets picked up. Every single press release gets picked up by Dorchester, Boston, because of just that little byline, no matter what it's about. Specific industry media, those are trades, magazines, things like that, that you want to be thinking about who would benefit from my information in my book, or who would be a good tie-in that would like to have this as an incentive or something. Let's go to the next one. Okay, here is a sample of a press release that I did, and this is on the Infinity Zone again, so I'm just going to kind of go with that same campaign. And what we did is, the Infinity Zone has to do with the philosophy, okay? Now I thought, okay, I got to tie it to something. Well, guess what? It was in November. World Philosophy Day is by United Nations Education, Science, Cultural Organization. They have a World Philosophy Day. Who knew? Right. So I said, okay, let's put it aligning with that, because I don't think there's going to be a lot of press around World Philosophy Day. We might be, someone might go, I didn't even know it was World Philosophy Day. Let's put that. And that's what happened. It did really well. So we also look at how I put the benefit in here. Einstein helps tennis serve, and the story, the philosophy behind this are based on principles of Einstein, Rudolf Steiner, etc. So I don't think they know who Rudolf Steiner is off the top. He's the founder of Waldorf schools, but I know everybody knows Einstein. So I put Einstein helps tennis serves, so I got a whole I got picked up by tons of sporting magazines. Amputees, because this movement, this device he uses, amputees have used it and helped their balance. And autism, because it helps mental performance. And it has helped autistic people, and they have reports on that. So those are okay. It's true. And but Einstein, he's, you know, it's like so it's kind of catchy, a little bit intriguing, but there's a benefit there. So I got picked up by autism magazines. This got picked up by all sorts of things like that. And it got completely put in every single thing that the United Nations did. We had United Nations everywhere, every newsletter they had, they put in it because I addressed their UNESCO organization. So, you know, I could have just put it out there and maybe, you know, a couple of people would picked it up here and there. It's a new book of peak performance, they don't really know. But you just go in and really target right in that headline. And usually they'll give you a summary where you can even add more, and you can put links in here. And a lot of these free sites will also offer you and let you put links in here that they can click right through, right to your site. Same thing here. This is a current event. 2000. This book opens up with the Borneo cat drop, which is this guy's about long-term thinking, and it was about an event where it's catastrophe. Things happened, and they ended up the whole town of Borneo in the 50s was overrun by rats, so they had to bring in helicopters of cats and drop them on the city. And some crazy, like, what, really? That's the decision? So now, this year, the government, it has a problem in Guam with snakes that got brought in through the Navy, ate all the birds. So now they're putting aspirin into mice and dropping them on Guam, okay? So I'm like, well, that's an interesting correlation. So I put that up there. And sure enough, got picked up because this was in the news talking about that day on CNN. And his first opening thing is tied to that. So again, tied into current events, and it got picked up by a lot. Okay, keep going. Here's an overview. Discoverability, you and your message. Building your online platform, post engaging content, you know about all social media that Marla tells you about. Creating partnerships, sponsorships locally, connecting with local and national media, and join and target your audience. You can ask them to guest blog. You can go into the website and say, hey, I've got some articles about this, whatever, could I guest blog? And it'd be amazing. Just hit moderator on a website and they might let you do it. And, you know, most will say, yes, they need content. People need content, okay? And the whole thing is every time you get something out online, it builds a back end to your website because you're always going to have your website listed. So instead of them looking for your website, they might be looking up certain keywords and they see all these other articles that you wrote, even guest blogs and stuff. And then that links to your website. So it keeps driving them even indirectly back to your site. So that's why blogging, webinars, all those things, everything you put online, if you have your website attached to it and your name in there, it's going to keep driving it back to you. And I've read somewhere that 1,000 loyal fans can mean success. Yeah, so it really
believes that.
says, yeah. Oh, Seth Godin, thank you.
Yeah.
We didn't know who said that.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we're talking about, is finding your loyal fan base, your tribe, targeting to them, joining with them, and giving your book as a benefit to them and enhance their life. They'll love you. So, try that.
Very much.
You're welcome.
Now,